News Hour with Subramanian Swamy.
Welcome back to the News Hour tonight. The big story on the News Hour this evening is what goes with the innocuous headline of Office Memorandum. You would almost not look at this document. Office Memorandum signed by Deputy Director, Infrastructure and Investment Division in the Finance Ministry. But the bombshell is here. Point number 2. This has been seen and hence therefore ratified and approved by the Finance Minister. And what is in the 11 pages inside? The 11 pages inside essentially criticize the decisions of Mr. Pranab Mukherjee's predecessor, Mr. Chidambaram, questioning the manner in which he gave a concurrence to the actions and decisions of Mr. A. Raja. I have breaking news right now before I go straight into our debate headlong tonight that top DMK sources are saying, I want to bring this to the attention of my preeminent panel, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, petitioner in the 2G case, Poranjoy, senior journalist following the story with great passion, Vikas Singh, former additional Solicitor General, Neeraj Kishan Kaul, senior lawyer of the Supreme Court, and Harish Salve, former Solicitor General. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the panel tonight. The DMK source have just told us, and Mr. Swamy, I want your reaction pronto to that they stand vindicated. That Raja has proved Raja is innocent. They're making it out to be that poor Raja got stuck in this big mess and he had absolutely no idea what he was doing as telecom minister. That's the argument of the DMK. Dr. Swamy, your first reaction to that.
Well, of course, the DMK is known to write cinema scripts, so they can write this kind of thing and say this kind of thing. The fact of the matter is that Raja, when it came to the cut-off dates, the first come, first served, the whole scandal of 10th January, that press release, there's enough to book Raja. There's no question about it. The only thing is that he was not alone in committing this crime. Mr. Chidambaram was a part, he was mandated to be a part. In fact, there was a 2003 cabinet resolution which required the two ministers to come to a conclusion, and Chidambaram came to the conclusion, despite all his officers telling him that this price of 2001 is only 1/10 the price of 2008, and it is therefore should be either raised or there should be an auction. Let me tell you that many people get confused. The spectrum price is of 3 parts. Part 1 is the entry fee, part 2 is the one-time payment for spectrum allotment, and part 3 is the service charge or the royalty as it's called. So in what turned out was that Chidambaram and Raja together decided the price should be, for entry fee should be the 2001 price, the one-time spectrum charge should be 0, and then the royalty charge was a certain percentage. So clearly Raja was not alone. That's all that we can say. But Raja being innocent, that's ridiculous.
No, I mean, I'm not playing devil's advocate, but Mr. Harish Salve, Mr. Chidambaram can turn around and say, what's new? What's really new in this? Because I have said all of this even when the PSC report came out.
No, he never said that.
Arnab, let's be clear about Arnab, let's be clear about two things. There is one issue about the loss caused to the nation by a wrong decision taken. Is there a loss, and if so, who is responsible? The other is a criminal act, whether Raja is guilty of a criminal act, whether he took the wrong decision because of a bribe or he took the wrong decision because he was ill-advised. I would not like to comment on the latter because that is being heard by the Supreme Court, qua Mr. Chidambaram, it is being heard by the trial court, qua Mr. Raja. But on the first, and I've been saying this from day one, as a matter of law, if a wrong decision has been taken, if it is wrong, if the nation has suffered a loss, then the government is responsible, and it's responsible for 2 reasons. First of all, under our constitution, you have joint and several responsibilities. It's collective responsibility of the cabinet. Secondly, the business rules, Raja cannot take this decision on his own. Those are checks and balances within the system. The system has meshed and worked together. Now, Minister A may have yielded to the view of Minister B, but that doesn't mean the responsibility as a constitutional functionary is diluted.
No, but Mr. Salve,
may be colleagues on the cabinet, perish the thought.
Mr. Salve, yes. Are you,
See,
Mr.
let me
Salve,
finish.
putting
This is
Mr. Raja and
important.
Mr. Chidambaram's role and actions in this on the same level? Because you see, Mr. Salve,
I am saying each and every person in the cabinet.
no, nature of the
Collective responsibility.
Sir, nature of the charge and the accusation. Raja is not just Raja's.
Baba, 1 minute.
Mr. Salve, Raja's accusations are different.
Arnab, be clear about one thing.
Yes.
If I am in the cabinet and a colleague comes to me and says, I am selling this for 1,000 rupees and I think that is good for the country, I may start by saying, no, don't do it. I may end up by saying, fine, I agree with you.
Yes.
Now, am I responsible for that decision? Yes, I am. What, did I know he's doing it because somebody has paid him a bribe? If I knew that, then I am a conspirator. I may have thought he has good reason for doing so. I don't agree with you.
No.
So let's be very clear on where the lines are divided. The criminal bit is being heard by Supreme Court. I don't want to comment. But this is important for us as a nation.
But
where decisions like this are in question, there has to be responsibility of the government. And factually, even the Shivraj Patil report shows everybody talk to each other. Somebody may have yielded to the view of the other. That doesn't mean the responsibility goes away.
No, I'm not arguing for Mr. Chidambaram, but Pravancha has raised his hand out there. My question is, can Mr. Raja turn around and say this, that hello, because Mr. Chidambaram, in his note to the Prime Minister, seemed to be backing me, hence that is an argument for my arbitrarily changing the cut-off dates to benefit certain companies and the timing of submitting documents.
It repels an argument of arbitrariness. Oh yes, it answers the charge of arbitrariness.
Or no,
taking a bribe is another matter. It answers the charge of arbitrariness.
Okay, Paranjoy is coming in. Paranjoy, this is interesting. Yeah.
or no, it is correct that the government has to act as a collective body. That's important, sure, that's very, very important. If indeed there was no loss caused to the exchequer, then why is Mr. Raja in jail?
Exactly.
That's a legitimate question Mr. Raja is asking. But what the facts revealed today indicate are as follows. From between July 2007 and November 2007, there were a series of letters exchanged between the then Finance Secretary, Mr. Subba Rao, now the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, and his counterpart in the Department of Telecommunications. The last letter sent by the DOT justifying its first come first served system was sent on the 29th of November 2007. 40 days later, that letter was put up before Mr. Chidambaram. That is the 9th of January 2008. The following day, letters of intent were issued. Why didn't Mr. Chidambaram put his foot down even 24 hours before those letters of intent were issued? That's point number one. Point number two, on the 16th of February 2001, you were present, Arnab, when the Prime Minister had addressed the journalists, addressed the media, and then he said that there was an eventual concurrence between the Department of Telecommunications and the Ministry of Finance. What concurrence? Who is being economical with the truth? This question needs to be answered. Why was a meeting of the Telecom Commission, in which the Finance Secretary was a member, which was scheduled for the 9th of January, suddenly postponed to the 15th of January. Last point, even after those letters of intent were issued on the 10th of January 2008, many months later they were converted into into licenses. The government had enough opportunity, should it have wanted to scrap those letters of intent. Why didn't it do so? The short point, it was not just Mr. Raja, it was the then Finance Minister, it was the then Prime Minister. They apparently knew what was going on. Now it's up to the courts, it's up to the Supreme Court of India to decide who was responsible, who was not responsible. As Mr. Harish Salve says, there is a criminal aspect to it, there is the policy aspect to it, and there's a loss to the exchequer aspect to it. These are important issues that have to be decided by the highest court of the land.
Now, there is a 2003 cabinet decision, if I'm not mistaken, 31st October 2003, which calls for concurrence between the Telecom Ministry and the Finance Ministry in this matter. There is, and Mr. Chidambaram...
Precisely.
So there is...
It's then the business rules, Arnab, it's then the business rules.
Why wasn't then...
You can't take a decision like this without
an EGOM set up? Why didn't this matter go up to the cabinet?
Well, I mean, obviously the Prime Minister knew about it.
These are the questions that have to be answered.
The question is, so when there was no concurrence, how could the Telecom Ministry have gone ahead? If there was no concurrence, let me get Neeraj Kishan call into this. How do you view this, besides the political impact of it, of Pranab Mukherjee criticizing a decision of Mr. Chidambaram?
Arnav, I completely agree with Mr. Salve. These are not decisions taken by a minister or a department in isolation. These are very major policy decisions with huge ramifications involving scarce resources, huge revenue implications in it. Surely there is collective responsibility of the cabinet, and others can't just wash their hands off and say we had nothing to do with it. And definitely the government of the day would be answerable. Of course, Raja in his own way may be answerable for it. But the fact is the government knew about it, and that is what these notes show. And Mr. Salve again rightly said, criminal culpability is quite another issue which the trial court is seized of, which the Supreme Court is seized of, would be decided. But all these notes go to show whether it is the startup spectrum of 4.4 megahertz or the entry fee or the user fee, the departments were in the loop, everyone knew about it.
No, so, no, what is incriminating in what has come out? Vikas Singh.
No, incriminating I don't think we can comment on or is proper to comment on, because that's something which is being looked into at the moment by the courts. But what is important is...
I'll tell you, the difference is de facto concurrence. One is responsibility to be taken under the rules, the other is de facto concurrence.
Sir, the same letter, Mr. Salve, you know, I don't want to keep arguing with you on a question of, on a legal point, but I must follow up by asking you. The same letter was cited by the PAC to question the then FM's role. Chidambaram had at that point given a detailed reply. That matter is pending in court. So are we jumping the gun? Is Mr. Subramanian Swamy jumping the gun by proclaiming Chidambaram's guilt? Mr. Swamy is smiling. First, let me get Mr. Salve's opinion. Coming back to you. Vikas Singh, straight after that to you.
Yeah, no, let me tell you, whether Chidambaram is conspired with Mr. Raja to commit a criminal offence is a matter which has to be seen completely separately. I don't want to comment on that. These letters show, and I think what you said earlier on in your bulletin is correct, these letters show that the decision which allegedly led to the loss, if you accept the philosophy that there has been a loss, then that decision was taken in full knowledge of and therefore in concurrence with all the ministries, particularly finance ministry coming together, stands established. The moral culpability, the legal culpability is that of the government and all the departments. The criminal culpability is a separate matter.
Well, I want Subramanian Swamy to respond. Mr. Subramanian Swamy, question here is simply this: as a politician, is this a concentrated effort to drag the Prime Minister and then Finance Minister into this mess?
Well, there's no question of dragging the Finance Minister. He is guilty as hell. He has been denying all this time. He's been playing on both sides. He's been using the media to make out that he's a paragon of virtue. The fact of the matter is that the decision was taken jointly and not over one meeting, Raja going to him and asking for advice. They met 4 times, then they went together to meet the Prime Minister.
You're making an accusation of conspiracy. You're making an accusation of conspiracy.
Absolutely. There was a meeting of minds. These are actually the trial court matters.
No,
right now in the Supreme Court, I'm only saying...
That's an inference.
In the Supreme Court, I'm only saying that Mr. Raja is not alone in making this decision. If Raja can be prosecuted, then let us find out why the CBI thinks only Raja is responsible. What about all these documents? CBI has to give an answer, or it has to interrogate Mr. Chidambaram. That is all. That's a limited prayer in the Supreme Court.
Now, the government has said the matter is going on in the trial court. Now, we want it in the Supreme Court. You've been accused of trying to, jump on 2 ships at the same time, or something to that effect.
I'm afraid this is all half-baked knowledge. In the Supreme Court, I've asked for a CBI inquiry, which I cannot ask in the trial court, because Supreme Court judgment says only the High Court and the Supreme Court can grant a CBI inquiry. In the trial court, I've asked a different prayer. I've asked Mr. Chidambaram to be made a co-accused with Raja. In the Supreme Court, I'm asking for a CBI inquiry.
You have great faith.
People don't apply their minds and they say all kinds of things.
Mr. Swamy, you have great faith in the sagacity, the wisdom and the perspective of Mr. Pranab Mukherjee. Besides the opinion of the Pranab Mukherjee's finance ministry, what else is new which is in the public domain?
There is no such sagacity. I have seen his letter to the Prime Minister, or the approved letter to the Prime Minister. All has been cross-checked with documents I have already filed in the court. and therefore I find what he has written is extremely credible.